Welcome back to Just Scrap Radio on BJPenn.com. I'm your host, Cole Shelton. Episode 78 ahead of UFC Vegas 54. We got a good lineup for you. First up, we're going to be joined by Maycee Barber to preview her, recap her last win over Montana De La Rosa 2 weeks ago. We also get her thoughts on the announced matchup between her and Jessica Eye at UFC 276. Just early thoughts on it, how the fight came together, and why she really jumped at this chance to fight Eye, who's someone she's called out in the past. We're then going to be joined by Davey Grant to preview his fight against Louis Smolka on the main card. Davey Grant coming off back-to-back losses to Adrian Yanez by split and Marlon Vera, two really high-level guys. He thinks his job could be on the line. He said it's not so many things, but you never want to lose three in a row, so he's just focused on getting a big knockout win, returning to the win column in a big way. We're then going to be joined by Andre Petroski to preview his fight against Nick Maximov. Nick Maximov, of course, is a Diaz protege. Petroski was on the Ultimate Fighter, came up short, but he's 2-0 in the UFC. He's looked pretty good in the UFC with 2 third-round stoppage wins. Maximov coming off that win over Punahele Soriano. Really intriguing matchup. Both are very high-level grapplers. Andre thinks this is going to be a grappling fight. He doesn't think it's going to be much of a strength fight. He thinks they're going to test each other's grappling, and he's really looking forward to doing that and kind of derailing the hype train and handing Nick his first loss. We close things out then with talking to Frank Camacho to preview his fight against Emmanuel Torres. Frank obviously hasn't fought since June of 2020 when he suffered a knockout loss to Justin Jane. Since then, a ton of canceled fights, including one when he was supposed to fight Matt Frivola at UFC 263. In the week of the fight, he was in a car accident, which had him have a few injuries and kept him out of the sidelines. He's now fully healthy. He's excited to go. He's excited to fight Torres. He's making his UFC debut. He knows he has a lot of knockout power. He thinks this one could just be first one to land, is going to win the fight. But it's a fight Frank's really looking forward to and getting back on track. But be sure to share the show, subscribe. Thank you all for listening, and tune in next week for another episode. All right, we're joined by Macy Barber, who picked up a win and already has another fight. Macy, how's it going?
I'm going good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Before you into your new fight, just quickly talk on your last one. Like we talked before, you obviously thought your strength was going to play a big role in that. Like, how pleased are you with that performance then? Because it was pretty one-sided.
Yeah, I'm super happy with that performance. You know, I dominated everywhere and I felt great. So it was a great win. I came out completely healthy, like literally not even a scratch. I think I got like a little scratch on my lip, but like other than that, I came out with nothing else. So I felt great. I feel great now. I did practice this morning. I did practice yesterday. I've been running. And it just feels good to like have back to back, like one fight, feel great, come into another one. Especially on coming up on International Fight Week, like that's a huge opportunity. So I'm so excited.
With Montana, like, did anything surprise you what she did or didn't do in there?
No, I mean, obviously we knew she was tough going in, and obviously I wanted to go for the finish, and that's something I always try to do. She is tough. She could take a punch, and that was probably the one thing that I was like, damn, this girl just won't go away. But I know I rocked her a couple of times, and I know I had her, definitely hurt, but good for her for sticking in there, But I know I definitely broke her after the first round, so that didn't shock me at all. I knew I was going to break her, so yeah, that was pretty much it. I felt great.
How much better did you feel this fight now that you're starting to have a couple more camps under Team Alpha Male?
I feel really good. It was really nice to go in there and have everybody, there, and just like all the people that I've been grinding with and working with, just to have them like actually, like be more comfortable with like the cornering and the coaching and just the techniques that we worked. Like literally everything that I worked in camp came out in the fight, and I saw that and I felt it, and like I didn't feel like I was unprepared in any area of the fight. And so and obviously it showed that I was prepared everywhere. So I mean, I love it, and I was really happy. Obviously I wanted Joey to be able to be there, but yeah, I mean, just being able to be at Team Alpha Male and training there and working there, the energy is great, the training's amazing, and I'm really happy with being there.
Just the last thing on the fight was you did rock her a couple times. Were there any parts where you thought you might be getting her out of there, or are you surprised how quickly she was able to recover?
I did, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to put myself out of position too much, to go for a finish. I obviously was trying for it, and there was a couple of times where, like, I went for a few things, and obviously she took my back, and then she tried to like wrap up a choke, but there was like, again, no point did I feel, oh, like she's gonna make it out of here. I definitely wanted to go for the finish. But yeah, I mean, again, she's tough. She was a great opponent, and it was a really good dominant performance over someone who's been around for a while. So yeah, that's just kind of how I felt and how I feel about the fight now.
And after the fight, like what, a couple days later, you get the eye fight. Like, how quickly did this one come together into your attention?
I think it was the day after. So I knew we had been told that Casey O'Neill was going to be out, but we didn't know why. And so I agreed to the fight right away. And then after that, I was told, I was like, oh, well, she might not be out. And then I was like, well, wait, why? So then I was like, why isn't she out? And then they're like, no, yeah, she's out. And then it got announced that she tore her ACL, which, honestly, like, that is a sucky situation to be in. Like, I really do wish her the best in like a recovery. I know that sucks. I know that it's a not fun recovery, and it's just not a fun thing to go through. So I do wish her the best in recovering, and I wish that she was still fighting Jessica I and healthy. But at the same time, I am so excited about this opportunity, and I can't wait to go out there and beat Jessica I up. But yeah, it was literally like the right after, like the day or two after.
Before we get in the match, just the one thing is in front of fans too on International Fight Week. How excited is that you're able to be in front of fans?
This will be like, gosh, I think it's been a couple of years since I got to fight in front of a crowd. I am so excited. It's just one of those things, like when you have the fans there, like when I walk out at the Apex, don't get me wrong, like I love the Apex. I love the opportunity to fight there, and the fact that we can still have fights, and during COVID, it was amazing to be able to have a facility where we could still hold fights. But when I walk out at the Apex, it just doesn't feel the same. Like I feel that same like mentality of I'm going to walk through this girl, but at the same time, there's a whole level of just like love and appreciation when you walk out and you hear the crowd, and they just like literally like light up your spirit. And it's just a amazing energy that I can't wait to feel again, because I love it. I truly do love how much fight fans are like. They're so loud, they're so full of energy, and it's just truly an experience, and I can't wait to be able to have that experience again.
And you called out Jessica after you went over Miranda, so how excited are you that the matchup is finally coming together?
I'm very excited. I think we tried to fight not too long ago. I can't remember entirely what happened, but I know I wanted to fight her before. I wanted to fight her now. It makes sense just in the matchup and like the rankings and all of that. It makes sense in the sense of I'm young, I'm 23. She's a little bit older in the sense of, she's a veteran of the game. She's definitely fought, and she fought for the title. She was contending for the title. She's fought so many girls. So Jessica I, to me, is one of those like veterans of the sport who's been around for so long and has really helped to be a part of what MMA is today for women. And so for me to be able to go out there and put on a performance and to fight her, I'm super excited. It'll definitely like project my career a lot further. But yeah, again, I've always loved her and really like to watch her fight. I love her energy, but at the same time, this is my time to shine, and I'm very excited to go out there and dominate.
And she's on a 3-fight losing streak, like could be fighting for her jobs. Like, how much more games do you think that makes her now, where if she loses this, like you never know when you lose 4 in a row in the UFC?
Of course. I mean, that's probably her mindset going in just when she was fighting Casey O'Neill. It's not like she has much of an option either way. Like she was definitely going to fight. She's fighting the up and comers. She was fighting Casey O'Neill. Now she's fighting me. I mean, I know that that's a lot of added pressure on her, but at the same time, Jessica I is not one of the people to be like, no, I'm not going to fight them. She's definitely a gangster in the sense of she's going to fight whoever they put in front of her, whether she's on a 3-fight losing streak or not. And I'm excited for that opportunity. Unfortunately, she's going to be on a 4-fight losing streak, but at the same time, I know that she's always going to she's always going to be one of the great fighters that's in there.
How do you think you match up against her? Just because Jessica's obviously a really good striker like yourself, but then I think you're wrestling kind of and then she's pretty mean and tough just like you are as well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a great matchup. You know, I just feel like in terms of evolving, you know, I'm evolving. I'm young. I'm the up and comer again. I'm continuing to evolve, whereas I feel like her career is kind of, you know, she's out where she's going to be at. And that's why I feel like my skills are going to shine. You know, the young ability to just go out there and wreck these girls. You know, I'm hungry. I'm young. I'm coming out there to finish. And I'm still learning, and I'm still able to pick up those things that I'm learning. And then also my body is so much more resilient as a young fighter than someone who is in her position. So I just feel like I have the advantages everywhere, and that's what I'm going to show out there.
And only Shevchenko has finished her. So say you go out there and finish her, like, how big of a statement do you think that sends to the division that you're kind of coming up and you can be a real contender?
That's exactly the plan, you know, to be able, I already looked at that, you know, to know that she's gone to decisions with everybody she's fought. She's lost a lot of decisions, but she's also won a lot of decisions. But being the fact that she lost on so many decisions, and then the only person to finish her is Valentina Shevchenko. To be able to go out there and finish her, it's like I finished someone who fought Valentina for the title, and the only other person to finish her was the champ. So it just shows that I'm on my way up, and that I'm continuing to prove the dominance in this division and prove my success and pave my way to the title.
What do you think a win, like, where do you think a win kind of puts you? She's ranked 12, but I have to believe, like, you get past her, I think it's a top 10 girl for you next.
Yeah, you know, obviously, like, I just came off of a fight, and I already took this one, so I'm trying not to look too far ahead, but at the same time, it's like, obviously you beat someone who contended for the title. That's obviously something that they're going to want to be pushing. But at the same time, I feel like this fight and another fight, or this fight and another 2 fights, we'll see, you know. To be honest, like, I know, like I said before, I know I'm going to be a champion, and I know I'm going to be the champion of the 125 division. I was pressing so hard to be the youngest champion that obviously the timeline didn't work. However, being that now I'm healthy, I'm on a tear, like, I want to keep that going, and I want to keep evolving, and the team that I'm at, I know can get me there. And so it's just a matter of, like, making sure that I continue to stay consistent, you know, like fighting 9 weeks after I just fought. I want to stay consistent, and I want to go towards the title, and whether it's 2 fights or 1 fight, or, you know, however it works out, I definitely see it going towards that way.
And how exciting is it for you too, where 2 fights in 9 weeks after the 2020, where you had such a long time off because of the knee, and, like, I know you want to be as active as possible, and this kind of sets you up to be a pretty active year.
Yeah, I'm very excited because, yeah, I definitely 2020 made me take a real look at how training is and how fighting is, and just, like, how we shouldn't take it for granted, you know, like the fact that I was out for an entire year. That sucks. I know I said it before, but it's terrible, you know, like being in a sport where, you know, we only live for so long. So being completely taken out of being active for a year is definitely one of the things that made me value how much, like, being able to get back in there really soon and get on another fight and get another win and just staying consistent is so valuable. And so for me to be able to get back in there after 9 weeks, it'll be really good. You know, again, I'm healthy, so it's like, why not, you know?
Something I've seen whenever you fight, and I don't really understand, is I've still seen people say, oh, May should go back to straw weight, which I don't think that's, like, is that ever a realistic option for you to go back to 115?
I don't know, honestly, right now, because, like, I walked into my fight at 137, but now I'm 133, and so, like, my body is so weird. My body is so weird. I'm still trying to learn and figure it out, because, again, at 23 years old, like, I feel like I'm finally coming into that, like, mature muscle, and where your body changes, like, our body changes so much. And at the same time, like, I started cutting to 115 at a young age. And on top of that, I did it with someone who did not know what they were doing. And so they ruined my body in terms of metabolism. I know that my resting metabolic rate was like 500, where a normal functioning woman should be at like 15 to 1700. And so I was pretty damaged, like to the point I lost my period for 2 years. I was losing hair. I was in a bad place. So for me to go back down to 115, I've been working and like thinking about it. But at the same time, like I want my body to be healthy. You know, I want my body to be performing at its highest level. And so that's, for me, that's the most important, you know, and I feel like right now at 125, I'm doing that. But at the same time, if my body, you know, is able to maintain a weight where I'm walking around at like 130, 133, and my metabolism stays up and all of that, and it shows that I can do it, I would not mind fighting 2 divisions. I would not mind fighting 125, you know, and 115. So it's honestly just a matter of trusting the people that I have put in place. You know, I work with Tyler Mitten, I work with the UFC PI, but they have all helped me get so healthy and like to such a high level with my nutrition and with my just my body. And even though I carry a little bit more body fat into my fight at 125, I feel like I'm so much healthier, and that shows in a dominant performance. So there might be a lot of people saying that I should go back down to 115, but at the same time, they also probably have never stepped into a cage or fought a person in their entire life. And they also probably have never even been on a diet. So that's just one thing that like I'll stick to the professionals, and I'll stick to the people who know where my body should be, and they know how the nutrition works. And I'm just going to keep doing what I do, which is training and improving and listening to the program. So who knows? Maybe you'll see me back down on 115. Or maybe you'll see me stick it out and dominate at 125. So both are options.
Just last thing, it's been a while, like we kind of talked about earlier with the fans. Like, what do you think that walkout's going to be like when you do it on July 2nd?
I honestly think that there will be a lot of energy in the crowd. You know, like, even though I have a lot of haters on social media, but I feel like in terms of fight fans, like true fight fans, the ones that are actually there, I feel like the crowd is always so loud and it's always so energetic. And I love it. Like, I truly do. I love the energy. And even if it's like good, bad, whatever, like I just love the energy. So I'm very excited to see. And I fought in Vegas several times, so I feel like I have a pretty good fan base out there. So I'm very excited for that.
Oh, well, Macy, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you.
All right, we're joined by UFC bantamweight Davey Grant, who's back in action. Davey, how's it going, man?
Hi, Cole. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well. The first thing I want to touch on is you're obviously with Iridium now. How did that kind of come together?
Yeah, so a few of the guys who I've been training with, they're managed by Iridium, and we went out one night and I got talking, and I really liked the sound of it. I've never had a manager. I've always just done things by myself, and it seemed like a good career choice. Definitely, I like the way they work.
And your last 2 fights, like, what do you take away from them? Like 2 super close fights against Marlon Vera and Adrian Yanez, and like you see what Vera's done since then, and Yanez looks like he's going to be like a top 10 guy pretty soon. Yeah.
I mean, like you said, they were really close fights. Probably could have gone either way, and it's just nice to know you can go and hang with the guys at the top level. I look forward to having exciting fights with guys like that, and I think I showed one of them about. Really enjoy those type of fights. You know, that's what I'm here for. I want to take on the best guys. I want to have some exciting matchups and just entertain the fans.
And your opponent here, Louis Smolka, like, how familiar are you with him? Because he's been in the UFC for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I've never met him. He's been in for a long time. I had a little hiatus, and then he got himself straight back in. So I've never met him. I don't know like much about him to talk to. Obviously, I've seen his fights, and I've watched a lot of his fights from back in the day, and then his recent ones, preparing for this fight. Yeah, it should be a good one.
Stylistically, like, is this a fight that you're really looking forward to? Just because on paper, this should be one where both you guys are kind of standing and trading there.
Yeah, definitely. I think it makes for a great fight.
And with this one, like, he obviously got knocked out in his last fight. So does that give you confidence, like, going into this one that he can be knocked out? Or do you kind of have to, like, you can't be too overconfident going into it?
Yeah, oh, definitely. There's no complacency at all. But I believe everybody can get knocked out, and I'm always going to go in there and try and knock anyone out anyway. So whether he got knocked out his last one or if they've never been knocked out, I'm still going to look for it.
Are you surprised you weren't on that London card back in March?
A little bit, yeah. I thought I was going to get the call. I asked for it of Sean Shelby, but Sean just had other ideas, and I'm just prepared to go and do whatever. It was nice anyway because I got to just experience it. I was down as like a guest fighter, so it was nice to just experience the other side, and I just sort of got to watch the fights and do a few little meetings with the fans and things like that. And it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it, so I'm not worried.
Back at the Apex, like, do you like being there with no crowd, or like, are you hoping you're going to be on one of these big cards pretty soon?
I mean, I like fighting at the Apex. I don't mind. I feel like I'm pretty familiar. Like, this will be my 4th fight in a row there. So it's like a nice familiar surroundings. But yeah, it'd be nice to fight in front of a crowd again. I think I forgot what it feels like to fight in front of a huge arena. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to that.
With Smolka, like, how do you think you match up against him?
I think I match up really. I mean, I think I match up really well against anyone in the division. I think I'm a hard guy to fight. I feel like I've got good striking, good wrestling defense, and like it's yeah, a fight's a fight. I think like I say, I think I'm a really hard fight for anyone. I think me and Smoke match up well for like exciting fight qualities. I think it's going to be a good one to watch.
Do you think because he got knocked out in his last one, he's going to go back to like his grappling roots right away and just try to get down to the ground?
I don't know. I really don't know. I suppose it depends what he fancies to do. He might go for the takedown. He might want to stand and trade. I suppose that's the beauty of it. We'll just have to wait and see on fight night.
How do you kind of see yourself winning? Because more time than not, it's the stoppage. But even if you don't get the stoppage, it's always an entertaining fight.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, look, I always go out like to finish the fight as early as possible. That's always going to be my goal. And but I'm prepared. I always say like we go out for the quick knockout, but we got to respect a war. Do you know what I mean? And anything less than a war is just a bonus. You know what I mean? So I'm always prepared to take it into deep water if needed.
What do you think a win over Smolka does for you? Like, it just kind of gets you back in the win column, but where do you think it kind of puts you in the division?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it just propels me back up there. Maybe like, I mean, I want to start trying to take out top 15 guys. That's the goal. Whether or not I would get one after this fight, I don't know. I suppose it depends who's available and stuff. So I'm not looking fucking too far past it. I'm just gonna take each fight as it comes. Just go in there, prepare as well as I can, and try to get the job done as early as possible.
How much pressure, if any, do you think is on you? Just because you never know with the UFC if you lose 3 in a row. I don't think they'd ever cut you, especially the way you fight. But like, it's something that we've seen fighters get cut from only losing like 1 or 2 in a row.
Yeah, I mean it happens, and like you just don't know what they're thinking, and that's always the case. But I've been in this position before, and honest, it sounds weird, like I don't, as if I'm not bothered, but it's not that I'm not bothered. But if I got released and I never fought again, or if I got injured and I never fought again, I'm happy. I've had a great career. I've got loads. I've got a gorgeous little family to go back to, and some businesses to go and work on. You know, so I'm not worried. I don't worry about the uncontrollables, about like getting big, getting caught. I've got no control over that. And if it does happen, then I'll deal with it, and I'll carry on my life, and I'll still enjoy my life doing whatever it is I do. Whether it's fighting for a different promotion, not fighting at all, or injured and can't fight again, I'm really not worried. I just because I can't do anything about it. My goals are to go and win as many fights as possible. I still want to challenge, get into the top 15, get into the top 10, and then hopefully start challenging for the title one day. It's not as if I've lost sight of the dream, but I really, really don't mind what happens. I just want to be in exciting fights, and that means I just take everything one step at a time and then deal with the uncontrollables if that's the case. I like to just keep a nice, open and positive mindset, and it's like, look, everything happens for a reason, or even if it doesn't, it happens, and you've got to deal with it anyway. You know, it's just relax and enjoy times.
Are you already out in Vegas?
Yeah, I'm in Vegas. I'm in the UFC PI at the moment. Yeah.
Is that something you do for most fights? Is head out to Vegas early, or is this something different for this one?
No, I did last time. Like I used to do like just a little bit of time to get used to the time difference and that. But I found a decent gym here. But like, because I've got, don't get us wrong, I've got great gyms back home. It was getting a bit testing on my lower back driving to all the different gyms at home. So when I'm out in Vegas, I feel like everything's just in so close quarters, and I can get the PT every day and stuff like that, and work with the strength and conditioning coaches. So it just made sense if I was fighting here to come over and train. And I made a good relationship last time with Syndicate MMA. So I've been there for a while now, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
I know Vince Morales trains at Syndicate, who was Smolka's last opponent. Have you talked to him about the matchup?
Yeah, I mean, me and Vince are good friends, good training partners now. So yeah, we've just been like sort of like helping each other out in our camps, because like we're both fighting like former opponents. So he's fighting the guy who I fought last as well. So yeah, but we're just here to help each other out. He's a good guy, and I'm lucky.
And being out in Vegas, like, how much of a benefit is the PI? With they can help you with all your food, like your weight cut, all the people coming in and out of the PI to train with. Like, how much of a benefit is that?
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic. It's honest. They really look after you. The atmosphere here is great. I feel like everyone just wants people to do well. Like all the staff are so friendly and willing to help. It's just a really nice place to be.
You get your hand raised here. Like, do you really plan to call anyone out, or is it just whoever the UFC gives you?
I've never called anyone out in my life. Honest, I'm really not a one for calling people out. I just sort of let the matchmakers do the magic. And I mean, there's a load of fighters at once, but like no one more than anyone else. So I mean, we'll just see what happens. I'm willing to fight anyone. Like I say, I think I'm a hard fight for anyone in the division. And the higher the ranking, I suppose, the more exciting it is and the more it propels me. So, like, I think with it, like everyone, you want to be sort of like trying to climb up.
Is the one request going to be get on the London card in July, though?
Yeah, I mean, that would be fantastic. Yeah, we'll just that'd be great. I mean, it's straight back into camp. I don't take any days off. On the London card, I mean, we saw what happened last time. It was fantastic, wasn't it? So yeah, the atmosphere was second to none, and that'd be really good. It's been a long time since I fought in London.
And I think the atmosphere would be even crazier because now you got Till on the card, who wasn't there last time. Like, Aspinall's a bigger star. Patty's always a massive star. Yeah. Molly's a bigger star for the knockouts. Like,
they need somewhere bigger. They need to be doing it at Wembley. They should be Wembley, not there in the O2. In all honesty.
Well, the Tyson Fury one at Wembley was insane.
One sold out, didn't it? What was it, like 94,000? I think we can top that.
Do you think like the English are starting to get more respect throughout the UFC? Because for the longest time it was, they're just good strikers, but you can't wrestle, just take them down and you could beat them. And I feel like that's finally starting to switch, where now you see like good grapplers come out of the UK.
Oh, definitely. I mean, yeah, we've got a really, really high pedigree of talent coming out of the UK, and it's nice to be finally been recognised, like everyone on the world scene. Some really good guys, some top performances coming in, and real worthy challenges.
Just last thing, like, what is kind of the goal for you this year? I know you like to be as active as possible. Yeah. Like, first fight already in May. Like, I imagine you want to be more active than this, but what's kind of the ideal goal for you?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, like, we'll get this fight in, and then another 2, 3, if possible, fights. Obviously, I just want to start just racking up the wins, trying to get a bit more momentum behind me, and start knocking out those guys in top 10, top 15. That's the goal, and then challenging.
Actually, just one more quick one is what you make of Vera's win over Font, just because you fought Vera twice.
Yeah. I mean, he did fantastic. It was a great fight to watch, and I mean, Vera's he's tough. He's tough. He does really well. He comes to fight, and I mean, whenever you fought anyone, you always want them to do well afterwards. There's no animosity in anything, and good luck to him, because it was a fantastic fight. I mean, Font's no pushover, and he hit Vera with a lot of good stuff. It just didn't manage to like hurt him as bad as what it went the other way around. Vera just sort of got him with a few more significantly damaging blows, but it just shows. I mean, the depth of the talent in the bantamweight division, I think, is just one of the best in the UFC, without a shadow of a doubt. And the fights that could be made are really, really good.
Well, Davey, I appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
No worries, Cole.
All right. right, we're joined by UFC middleweight Andre Petroski, who's back in action. Andre, how's it going, man?
Pretty good. Everything's going well.
Yeah, another fight for you, Nick Maximov. Like, are you surprised this is the guy you got just because he has a lot of hype there? Like, he's the Diaz protege. Like, are you surprised you got him, or is this a matchup you like?
No, I mean, this fight's happening because that's who I requested. I asked for Maximov, and they said yes.
And then why did you kind of ask for him then?
I was watching him. I watched him on the Contender Series. And then I watched him in his last fight with Suriano. And I was just like, man, like, I'm better than this kid. I know I'm better than this kid. And, he's undefeated. And I just – the challenge excited me.
And he has a lot of hype with being like Nick and Nate's kind of main guy. And with Nick, like stylistically, like how do you think you match up against him? Just because he's very good grappler, like he just likes to get fights straight to the ground right away. And you've shown in your past 2 fights, like your jiu-jitsu shouldn't be slept on.
Yeah, I just think that everything that he's good at, like I'm better at. Like I would say, he's the decaf version of me. Like everything that he does well, like I just do better.
And even like, is this one fight where maybe you just stuff the takedowns and just keep it standing? Because I have to imagine you're probably the better striker. Is this one where you kind of want to test your ground game against his?
I think that no matter where the fight goes, look, I'm always if he shoots, I score. If I shoot, I score. That's the name of the game. Like no matter what, like my wrestling's always is going to be better.
And you come from like a really good gym. So who are kind of the main guys you're working with for this one?
So I've been working a lot with Joey Pfeiffer. He fights in the Contender Series in July. Train with Jeremiah Wells. He's probably going to be fighting again in June or July also. He just beat that Blood Diamond. Sean Brady, Manny Morales. I mean, we got 4 guys in the UFC at my gym. My gym's 13-0 in the UFC, 8 finishes. Like I come from the best gym. I'm training with the best guys.
And you're someone too, like you always get the finish. Like you've never gone the distance. Like, is this another one you think you can get that stoppage win? Because that's just the way you fight. Like it seems like the finishes just kind of present themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% finish rate. Always looking for a finish up until the last 30 seconds of the fight, as we can see with my last fight. If it's not a finish, it's definitely fight of the night. Yeah. Every time I fight, it's exciting.
Oh, what do you take away from your last fight? Because I've talked to a lot of fighters that did the whole Fight Island thing, and it was pretty hard to prepare just because you're fighting at like a weird time and like all the travel and all that. Like, what did you kind of take away from your last one?
I think that I'm pretty flexible as far as like the time and the travel. And I mean, it was also on 10 days notice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty flexible. I enjoyed the experience, honestly. I had a good time. Like I would 100% do it again. I mean, I was as prepared as you could be on 10 days notice, but it was nice this time around having a full camp.
Is this a fight like you want to go out there and submit Nick, or do you think it's more likely you get the knockout, or do you not really care which one it is?
Nah, I love submitting guys. Honestly, I just want to win. Yeah, my goal is to win, have an exciting fight, get another finish, and then get a new contract.
And what do you think a win over Nick does for you? Like you hand him his first loss, like you 3-0 in the UFC, like say 3 finishes, like that probably puts you in a good spot in the division.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that puts me in a very good spot to get a new contract and start climbing the rankings.
Are you still on that same tough contract, or you?
Yeah.
Or so you're kind of trying to hoping big win here and then renegotiate and get more money, which everyone wants.
That's what I'm hoping for, especially with my last 2 fights being on short notice. I'm hoping that I'm hoping that they'll consider that the UFC.
And being at the apex with that smaller octagon, like, how do you think that plays a role in this fight?
That's funny. Someone just asked me that question the other day, and I honestly didn't even notice it when I was in Abu Dhabi that it was a bigger cage.
And with this one too, like, is this something too you think you can be right in Nick's face from the get-go? Because like where I've noticed where he's finds success is when he's kind of the one leading the dance.
What was the question again?
Like have you kind of noticed where like is part of the game plan to be the one like putting the pressure on? Just because in Nick's 2 UFC fights, like when he had success is when he was kind of the one pressuring forward.
In the grappling.
Yeah.
In the grappling, yeah. No, he definitely is the one forcing the action in the grappling exchanges. In the striking, I haven't seen that. No, I think that he sits back a lot and he kind of waits for his moments. And, you can see like he hard shells a lot. I wouldn't necessarily say that he's typically the aggressor in the striking exchanges.
You get your hand raised here. Like, what is kind of the goal for you this year? You'd start out the year 1-0 and probably a new contract, and then I wouldn't be surprised if you're like getting a top 15 guy pretty soon.
I just want to stay busy, man. I want to stay active. I want big fights, but yeah, I just want to stay busy. I had 4 fights in 6 months with the Ultimate Fighter, and then I had nothing for 6 months. So, obviously this is how I pay my bills. I don't have a job anymore, so I'm looking to fight as often as possible.
Just speaking of that too, like what you make of that tough fight with Brian and Trayshawn, like the real kind of finals. What you make of that one?
I think that I just think that maybe it was a lack of experience on Trayshawn's part. It definitely played a factor. I mean, when he shot, he took Brian down. When he threw, he landed. So I think it was just a matter of doing more, Brian, and no discredit to Brian, man. The kid goes out there and he does follow, from what I see, a very similar game plan in all of his fights. High volume, put a pace on guys, kick and move a lot of activity. And a lot of guys can't handle that pace. And even though Trayshawn kind of did, like he never really flustered Trayshawn. He was just way more active than Trayshawn, and he got off way more.
Is that a fight you'd like to get back in the UFC as you versus Brian?
It's a fight that will happen eventually, 100%. Whether it's the next fight or later on down the line, it will happen again.
Just a couple more things with seems like a lot of good Philly guys are coming up now. Like, how close do you think we are to another UFC Philadelphia card?
I've heard a couple rumors, but hopefully you could tell me that. Hopefully you know more than me. But I heard they're trying. I hear they're trying, maybe at the end of summer or something.
Because you can make like a really good card. Like you got you, Pat, Sean, like the Dawkins brothers, like Jeremiah. Like you could have a whole main card and like almost half the prelims of just Philly guys.
That's just the Henzo Gracie guys.
Yeah.
And the Dawkins brothers. Yeah, that's just Philly. Like we got Bill Algeo, King of Prussia, which is right next door. You have all the Catone guys. That's right over the bridge in Jersey. Like, there's guys that real close. You got New York, like Randy Brown comes down and spars with us all the time. That's another guy I've been training with a lot. He's tough. He fights that Chaos Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's a lot of guys in a hour and a half, 2 hour radius of here.
If that does happen, like what would kind of that walkout be like for you? Like I imagine that's something you've probably imagined before.
Dude, incredible. Like I don't know. I was at the last Philly card. It was Gagey and Barbosa and Josh Emmett, Michael Johnson. Dude, it was awesome, man. And I had good seats. Like the Wells Fargo Center, I mean, I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. Dude, I think that would be an incredible experience for sure.
Just last thing, I know you've been doing some commentary for CFFC. Yeah. Like, what's that been like for you?
Yeah, so I did 2 shows for the CFFC, and then I did 2 shows for Art of War. I did like 1.5 shows for Art of War, but it's cool, man. I enjoy it. Like, it's something I truly don't mind doing, and if they're gonna pay me, like, it's just like a bonus. And shout out to the CFFC. They took care of me, as well as Art of War. But I'm definitely looking for more commentating gigs in the future.
And then you did the grappling match too with Phil Hawes. I just got to bring that up. Like, what you kind of make of that whole thing?
Dude, Fury puts on like a really good show, man. Like, they clearly have some money to throw around to get some big names, and the UFC's backing them, and they're putting on really good shows. I was sad that I didn't get to see Rose. I'm a huge Rose Namajunas fan, so the opportunity to compete on the same card with her would have been great. But it is what it is. But hopefully for the next one, yeah, I'm a big fan of Fury. I had heard a rumor that they were supposed to be having another show, before summer, but we'll see. Yeah, I hope so.
You're hoping to be on the next one that they do then, the grappling?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Andre, I appreciate the time as always. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right, we're joined by UFC lightweight Frank Camacho, who's back in action. Frank, how's it going, man?
Man, very good, Cole. Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, obviously, I just want to start. You're supposed to fight Matt Frivola, and then what was it, like fight week? You get into a car accident. Like, can you kind of take me through that whole thing? Like, it's been a long time since your last one, and then a car accident takes you out of this one.
Yeah, dude. So, 2020, I was supposed to, I was supposed to fight. Oh, I was supposed to fight Brock Weaver. Got tested positive for COVID that week. That fight got scratched, and then was ready to make a return that June of 2021 against Matt Frivola. I was picking up headgear, and we were on the way back home fight week. Freaking got into a car wreck, dude. It was on the 405 on the freeway. I'm from the islands, bro. So, I mean, probably you're driving max 45 miles an hour. So, it was pretty crazy, man. And luckily I wasn't well, first off, luckily that my coach and I and everyone involved in the accident were still here, literally fighting another day. And yeah, I didn't really. I mean, yeah, I separated my shoulder and I got a couple herniated discs, but nothing as bad as what could have possibly happened. Cars flipping, everything.
How serious were any injuries, if you got any then?
Yeah, so I separated my shoulder.
Yeah.
And I got a couple I got two herniated discs, so I was pretty much out for the rest of the year of 2021. Just
and then
rehab and yeah, PT.
And now that you're feeling healthy, like, is this the right time frame for you to return in May?
Oh, totally, bro. Totally. If anything, I got cleared the end of the year last year, so I was looking for something probably a little bit earlier this year, but yeah, May panned out right.
And your opponent, Emmanuel Torres, like, how much do you know about him? It's going to be his debut and had a pretty good knockout on the Contender Series.
I really don't know too much about him. Dude, I do know though when I first made my debut, I was hungry, and dangerous, and I saw his fight on the Contender Series. I tried to, I seen some fights of him like outside of that, and I guess man, he'll throw leather and he's gonna try to stop you. A lot of first round finishes. So yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Is this a fight too, or you think the longer it goes, the more it benefits you because it's going to be his debut and like you look at a lot of his wins, they are early in the first round?
Yes and no, but at the same time, I don't want to bank on that, right? Like, I'm not banking on that. Like, if I'm a first round finisher too. So if we do end up getting into an exchange and I get the first round finish, hey, freaking right on, But if it goes into a 3-round grinder, like I'm just so excited just to get back into the fighting game, honestly, Cole. I'm just so grateful for the opportunity, man. It's just been so long, and there's so many things that you can't control. So having the opportunity is just such a blessing.
And just kind of building off that, like, was there ever a point after that accident, after everything you went through, like that kind of put it into perspective that the career can be taken away pretty quickly?
Oh, 100%. And I think that's why I'm like looking at this fight and just looking at my career and with a whole new lens. Anything and everything can happen. Life is really just so brittle, and we complain, or we complain about such the little things when really there's so much to be grateful for and so much to be thankful for. So like when I go to the gym and I'm training, it's like, wow, man, it's so nice that I got two legs and I got two arms and I got a healthy neck. Like I see guys that don't have that anymore. Or I mean, you see people that just go through way more struggles than what we would typically go through. So just having that mindset and having that perspective is just making not only my career but life very enjoyable.
And you kind of imagine there, like you're from the islands. During this time off, though, have you had a chance to go back, or has it mostly just been staying in the States and training here?
Oh, no, no, no. I've been back home since ever since. Since after the accident, was able to kind of like go through some hear the doctors, and then I was June. I went back home, and I've been back home since. I came out. Actually, I came out to California, to Vegas last year, October. I just wanted to go check out the UFC PI and just have them like kind of like, I guess, like assess and see how I'm doing. And then we got the clearance, and I was like, yeah, okay, we're gonna try to get a fight, ASAP 2022, whatever. And then it really just worked out. Training back home, starting my camp back home with Spike 22, purebred trench tech, and I'm out here now finishing up the rest of my camp in Irvine.
And how exciting is that for like other fighters, where you can kind of show them that you can make it to the UFC from the islands and be a high level fighter and train there, and you don't because you see a lot of guys, they always get told, oh, you got to go to a bigger camp, and you do most of your camp out there.
Yeah, I mean, man, it's like a lot. It's a lot of give and take, right? Man, I'm an island boy, 100%, and I truly draw my power from there. And we have a really good, for some reason, the islands, we have a really good training partners, and we have a lot of good things going on for MMA, and it just really works out. With technology, I could just call up Alex or call up Coach Oyama and be like, hey man, this is what we're working on. Okay, yeah, let's try doing this, let's try adding that. So just really working remotely on specifics.
And this one, how do you kind of see it playing out? Both you guys are quick finishers. How do you kind of see it one? How do you kind of see yourself winning this one?
Man, I see what the matchmakers are doing, all the time. So, you know what? I obviously see myself getting the win. I have the experience. He's gonna bring the heat. I'm tough. I'm strong. I'm in just. I think the X factor here is I'm in such a great mind space.
And how much do you take away from your last fight with Justin James, where that kind of got into a firefight of what kind of not to do? Because it seems like this one could turn into that pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, I mean, man, yeah, that one it didn't didn't fall into my favor. Like as short as it was, I still had fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And live and die by the sword, but make sure that I'm able to learn from it and come back, come back better. And something I'm excited. What I'm excited about too, Cole, is that I've been gone for 2 years and 3 fight camps, 4 fight camps, but not taking the damage of inside the cage. So it's like, yo, like, ooh, what are you gonna expect from Frank Camacho now?
That's actually something I want to touch on. Is I know ring rust, people always talk about it, but then on the flip side, it's a long time to be in the gym, kind of train techniques that you normally can't in a fight camp, because it's a lot of just getting in shape. So how much better do you think you are going to be, and more of a surprise to Emmanuel, that stuff that he probably hasn't seen before from you?
Yeah, Manuel comes from a really good academy, so I'm sure he's seen a lot of, I mean, I'll just be straight up. I'm not gonna go in there and start throwing spinning back kicks and all that crazy stuff. But But man, I'm just so excited that I'm gonna be coming with not even like a new skill set, but of just unlocking the stuff that I've been working on over the years.
Are you putting any pressure to like go out there and kind of like get a finish or a big statement win to kind of remind everyone that you're still here?
No big pressure, and you know what it is. I think it's been the 2 years, the 2 years of inactivity, and it's really just again, but change my perspective on just being grateful, man, that I have the opportunity to go out there and do what I do best, and and an opportunity just to showcase like the 2 years that I've been gone, you know.
And do you think like this could be fighting for your job here? Like you never want to lose 3 in a row in the UFC. I know you're a fan favorite. Is that kind of a mindset you have going into this one?
Yeah, I think I would be lying if I said there wasn't a lot of it's not no pressure, but there's definitely more added pressure with that. But but everything leading up to this is just kind of like again back to the perspective, right? Like man, I can really just focus and control the things that I can control, Whatever happens after that, it's kind of like, hey man, shoot, let's do it, Let's let them fly. Let's fight, but I can control leaving my family for 6 weeks to train. I can control waking up and my perspective for the day, right? I can control how much input and how much focus I'm going into training, and that's really what I'm focusing on. And so again, back to being grateful and being for the opportunity.
Where do you think a win kind of puts you in the grand scheme of things of the division?
I think a win is gonna be like an reintroduction of Frank.
Mhm.
I'm fighting a guy that's making his debut, dangerous dude, comes from a really good academy. I think it's just gonna be, I never thought of that. Like, I guess I'm not really too concerned of like what other people are thinking. It's more so like I have a lot of things that I wanna like showcase and prove to myself. It's been a long time coming, man, and I have a lot of things that I want to work on and showcase. And just let them fly.
What is kind of the goal for you then this year?
My goal is to get this W and then fight maybe two or three, two more times after.
Are you hoping though, maybe after this one they put you in front of fans? Like you're a fighter that should be in front of fans, especially this
Yeah,
fight should be one in front of
I know.
fans.
So yeah, so this one's gonna be like at the Apex. Fans are still gonna be tuning in online, So that's one thing, and there's still gonna be a smaller crowd versus the time when James and I fought. Holy cow, that was crazy. It was like you could hear a pin drop. But yeah, let's get this W, put on a good show, and then let's uh just get in front of a crowd, man. Get me on a pay-per-view. And I guess people want to fight on a pay-per-view for that notoriety that they fought on the paper. I just want to fight in front of cool ass fans. You
Mhm.
know? Like I still have a lot of fans in Australia and in Singapore, but Australia, man, I just really love that crowd because you could just feel them. And I don't know whether I feed off of them or what, but it's just you see my fights, man. I love it.
Well, it might be a quick turnaround, but they're going to Singapore in the middle of June. Maybe if you get a quick win, you can get back on that card and fight out there
And
again.
hey, why not? Why not? I love Singapore.
Just last thing, like, do you really care who would be next? Or are you just kind of trying to stack up these wins before you really call anyone out or kind of get some of these big names again?
Yeah, I think I wanna stack up these wins. Like I'm a big believer in like honor, and I feel that guys, I don't want to be that guy to just start calling guys out. Man, I need to earn my keep back in the division. I'm fucking two losses in. Let me rack this W in, and let me just do what I do best and fight. And again, back to being able to just control what I'm able to control. I can control going to the gym. I can control how much output I'm putting out, my mindset, my mood, right? And really just my I have the best manager in the world. I have the best coaches in the world, and have them do what they do best. You know.
Well, Frank, I appreciate the time as always. Thank you so much for doing this.
Cole, thanks, man. Appreciate it.